I became a real burden to myself. I found myself we're being completely transparent, yeah. So, like in 2020, this was before any practices, but right as I started learning about Sadhguru, I overdosed. I just, woke up and had a bunch of electrical devices attached to me in a hospital. And I knew from that moment, I was like, I am completely functioning by accident right now. There's no discretion of my own that is happening. It's fully out of tendency. Because I went into that experience with good intentions. I had no intention of taking more than I could handle. But I just found myself just like, oh my God, how did I get here? Basically having been revived. And I was like, at that point, I was like, there is very little of my own choice of what is happening in my life. That would be the one thing that I would point to where I knew that I needed some method and some force that was functioning within me that wasn't mine. Because everything that I had tried just tended to backfire. And I go back to how I had struggled with trusting authorities in my life. I finally found someone that I felt like I could put my life into. And that made all the difference, because now I'm finding myself in a situation where I do have discretion as to where I want to take my life. Just the trajectory. A lot of other things I don't think about, but the trajectory I can set. That is what compelled me to take these programs and to put my life into my own hands, because it definitely was not at one point. So I was a person who was very neurotic about needing to find these alleyways and these paths on my own. I wanted to do it on my own, and I tried so many things from so many books I was reading, like a Western self-help niche. So many books I read through, and it always blew up in my face. Every single time. It would work for 3 days, and I'd be like, I got it. I finally got it. And then it would just blow up in my face. And this all ran parallel to everything I was doing, swimming, school, what I was doing on the side. This ran parallel to that. So I was reading a lot. I was asking these questions, which really confused me, having grown up in a religious household with pre-assumed answers to things. Just right before pandemic time was a point where this kind of reached a peak, and pandemic gave me ample amount of time to start exploring these things. This also coincided with finding my first Sadhguru YouTube video, and that changed the entire trajectory of things. I was still following these avenues and these compulsions, you could say, reading a lot, but also now Sadhguru had joined the mix there in some way. I was not sure how he fit into it. But I knew it was important, and I couldn't stop watching him, and he added to the confusion. This is a place that satiates my longing to be intense and my longing to strive for something, because that never went away. That never went away from me, this desire to pursue something, which has made it easy to keep up with my practices. But the more time I spend here, I'm seeing that there's another aspect that is not about striving. There's another aspect of being able to just sit still and be fully content and needless right now, right here. So that has opened up, that's something I never knew existed. I did not know that was a possibility for a human being because it had never entered my experience. I did not know there was such thing as being able to sit and do nothing and be okay with that. Because as a hyperactive person, that was just an alien concept to me. For me, there's just this thing that where I'm at right now isn't good enough. It's this constant longing to be more than I am right now. And this was very much in my face as a swimmer. And it's in my face even right now as I'm speaking to you. I think it's very fitting to say I'm a person who is joyful and immensely dissatisfied. I think that's a very easy way to describe me, because I'm happy in this moment, but if you were to tell me that I would live out the rest of my life feeling like this, that's not good enough for me. Therefore, the bubble that I am has to expand, or it has to pop. Something has to happen. And I want to be able to find myself in a spot where I can just sit and be okay, and sit and not crave or need anything. I haven't found that spot yet. Until I find myself in that spot, there's work to do. There's sadhana to do. From the time I was a young swimmer, and the decisions I made in my late teens, I knew that no matter what, left to myself, I was going to sabotage myself. I knew that without a doubt. And I knew that a supportive environment would be the biggest thing for me. If I could utilize these practices, these methods that have been given to me, and see that I let them grow rather than using them, enjoying the benefits of them, but then, like I said, sabotaging that throughout the rest of the day. If I could just let that grow, I knew that that would be the step that I needed to take. If you really look closely at what you're doing day to day, can you really see that your life is moving in a direction? It's so easy, I think, to get caught up in situational changes, striving for this and that. But for me, it was really easy to just see that within myself, my life wasn't going anywhere. It was going in circles. It was really easy for me to see that. Going back to what we were talking about, young people, right? You can either figure this out now, if you're my age, maybe you're younger. You can figure this out now, or you can wait a couple decades and it'll be so much harder. And that's a lot of time lost for the changes that need to be made, because there are a lot of them. So I just implore people to take a close look at these things now while you have the chance, and while you're young and full of vibrance. I want more people to do that, because I really experienced the pain of living a cyclical life, and it's not worth it. It's not worth it.